Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. We got a little upcoming event announcement here today. Of course, in the co-captain's chair right alongside me here in the Zoom, Mr. Steve Keeler. What's going on, Steve?
Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays, happy New Year, all that good stuff. As we're rounding in on New Year's Eve, we're a day or two away here as we tape.
That's right.
And we put together a show here in Middletown at the Hudson Valley's newest, I guess, when it comes to music or entertainment venue, Quinnz Pins. And we kind of built it around Mr. Pardo here and with the Hudson Valley Squares night. And we have a few of the guys coming out, right? And we have British Steel, the amazing Judas Priest tribute, which we've had in the building in the past. And they're promising I don't know exactly what set. They hinted at doing Unleashed in the East. I'm not 100% sure that they're doing just that, but they're going to do stuff from it. But they may. Should have talked to them yesterday, but I've been running around doing a million things. But it's a free show. It's in Middletown, New York. You can Google it, Quinnz Pins. It's a bowling alley. It's a restaurant. There's an arcade. There's plenty to do. There's a pool. There's some billiard. There's a billiard hall there. There's pool tables. So you can come out. You can bring the family. You can go bowling, have dinner, see a live show, and of course meet and greet. And I guess, what are we doing, a Q&A, Pete? Is that what you got planned?
We'll do a Q&A, or we'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll have I think about an hour before the band goes on. We'll just kind of get up and chat with the crowd, and maybe we'll ask the crowd some questions of things. They can ask us stuff, whatever.
It'll be fun.
Informal. Yeah, it'll be informal, but it'll be cool.
Maybe you could even do a little live stream. Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So what else is going on?
It starts at 8:00, right, Steve?
The band is at 8. We plan on doing a little Q&A or seminar at 7. So come out early if you guys are coming into town, driving in or whatever, and come out and enjoy what Middletown has to offer. Stop at Rock Fantasy.
You could stop at Rock Fantasy during the afternoon. There's 2 local breweries there as well. You got Thompson Brothers and you got Equilibrium Brewery, all within short distance there. Lots of things to do and stuff like that. So it'll be fun.
So. And they have the new restaurant in the Sweet Onion Brew House, which is taking over the food part of the venue at Quinnz Pins, which has great food and craft beer and all that, anything you need there, regular beer, and of course industrial arts and all the craft beer you can have there, which I had a couple too many the last couple nights because I've been over there working pinball and open mics and whatever else. But it's a lot of fun being involved with Quinnz. It's giving me a lot of energy.
That's good.
First time we've had a venue in Middletown that has alcohol on a stage since the 90s. So isn't that crazy?
It's a long time.
Other than Brian's Barbecue, which was kind of out of town.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't forget Brian Remley. And do you mind if I give my top 15 albums of the year? I have props. This could change at any moment. I could say it was very hard for me to pick, for say, a number 1 album this year because I've listened to so many different ones, but I kind of put it together as best as I can, and I will kick off, and I do have props, and we can see them. Number 15 is our Swedish death Viking metal Amon Amarth with the Great Heathen Army. I love the title track, Odin Owns You All. The Saxons and Vikings song I thought was so unique because it has how going back and forth with Biff from Saxon singing about, we're the Vikings, we're the Saxons. And I thought that was a very unique song. Even if you're not into the band, I'd recommend checking that out if you're a fan of Saxon and just the metal in general. The next album in line is from Austria with Belphegor, one of my bands. I kind of dug into this late this year. It might have been up even a little bit higher. The Devils is the title of the album, and Totenaz Dance Macabre, the title track. A couple songs. This is going to throw everybody for a loop. Most people won't like it, but in my top 15 is the latest from Korn with Requiem. I've always liked Korn. It's one of my wife's favorite bands, and it's a decent album if you hadn't listened to Korn in a while. And I won't go into details because I have to get out of the way because Martin Poff's coming off soon. So that's Pete's next assignment this morning. So Pete's not done. Number 12. Everyone knows this band is Megadeth, the Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I like We'll Be Back.
Terrific.
That's a great song. The title track's great too. I think it's a pretty solid album. It got a little hate from people, but I don't really know why. I really like Night Stalkers with Ice-T. Thought that was a cool song too. And they'll be back, I guess. And next one in line would be number 11. It's a local band that we did a couple shows with at Equilibrium Brewery, who we mentioned, and at Quinnz. Let me put the tag up. Sun Voyager, self-titled, kind of like a full album, but kind of like an EP. To Hell We Ride, God Is Dead 2, solid, fuzzy, psychedelic band. If you want to check out Sun Voyager, and they will be back playing with us and doing some dates, I believe, this year. The next album is number 10. We're into the top 10 with New Orleans, good friends of mine, Goat Horror, with Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven. So I didn't really put any songs down for this one. I'm unprepared this morning, but solid album, front to back. The next album, we're going to Athens, Greece, with Septic Flesh. This is the Modern Primitive. I've been listening to this album. It came out early in 2022. Yeah. And The Collector, The Coming Storm. Just a great, if you like a little theatrical, symphonic stuff mixed in with your black and death metal, check out Septic Flesh. The next album, me and Pete saw this band a few weeks ago, opening up for Merciful Fate, its creator with Hate Uber Alles. I think this, I know it's polished, it's commercial, but I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like Become Immortal. I love the title track, of course, which seems to play all the time in my store. Crush the Tyrant, Strongest of the Strong, even Killer of Jesus, all great creative tracks. We're moving fast now. We're into number 7 with Watain, with The Agony and Ecstasy of Watain. The Howling, one of the sound out tracks, We Remain, which features guest vocals from Farida Lamucci, of course, of The Devil's Blood, is on the We Remain track. And it's just it's a solid black metal, I almost say masterpiece. I love it. And now we're going to Finland. We're going all over the world today with Amorphous, Halo. I don't think it's as strong as the last album they did. But
it's really good, but yeah, the last one is just so good.
On Dark Waters, I love Northwards, When the Gods Came. It's another album that grew on me a little bit. I didn't like it out of the box as much I think I was expecting to be again. And here we are at number 5. We're in the top countdown, and we need Casey Kasem to hop in here. With an American band finally on my list, other than, there were a couple American bands, but Queensryche, Digital Noise Alliance. I love this record. I even got the autograph copy. Nice. I picked up at the show, and you can't go wrong with this. I know some people can't listen to this because it's not Jeff Tate, but hey, Jeff kind of denounced metal, as far as I gather, for a long time. I didn't listen to Queensryche for probably 20-some years. And I started listening again when they got the latest singer. And
that was great.
He's just amazing. I saw them open up for Judas Priest. I think they held their own with Priest that night.
I would agree. Yeah.
And they were just great. And Behind the Walls, of course, video for that. And Extremist. I love Lost in Sorrow.
Yeah, that's really good.
Off of that record too. Up to number 4. A lot of people won't like me for this. They'll probably call me a poser, but it's Ghost and Para.
I like it too.
and there's other people on Hudson Valley Squares like, oh, Keeler, poser. But I like this album. In fact, I do listen to Spotify, even though I got tons of vinyl and everything in a record store, but that's what I use when I'm out hiking or walking the dog. And a little bit embarrassing. But when Spotify does the Wrapped, the song I listen to the most all year is Hunter's Moon from Ghost. Call me a poser, never shop at my store again, whatever you got to do. I got Korn, I got Ghost in my top 15. And Hunter's Moon, I love it. Of course, it's a theme from a Halloween movie. Of course, you're more up about Halloween movies. How many are there? It seems like there's one every Halloween.
Way too many. Many.
I like Spillways. I like Call Me Little Sunshine. I think it's not. It might not be a metal record, but it's a solid pop metal, hard rock. And I got, this was the first show I saw when I started coming out through the pandemic. I saw Ghost of Macedon and Spirit Box. So I was like, I was finally out amongst people after being locked in this house for 2.5 years and trying to run a store. The next album is another one I'll get some hate on the channel for. It's Sabaton, The War to End All Wars. I really like listening to the history edition the most, even though this is not. I got another autograph copy. And I like it because before each song, they explain what the song's about in a very epic way. I like Stormtroopers. I love The Soldier of Heaven and Christmas Truce. It's a new Christmas song classic. If you've never heard it, check it out. But Sabaton is up there. Now we're down to the top 2. This was very tough. This album, it's another album I didn't think was as good as their last. It's Immolation with Acts of God, but it still made number 2 on my list. Age of No Light, Shed the Light, Apostle, got to see them. It's another thing where I go to shows, and I hadn't been going to shows for a couple of years. I did a bunch this fall. Pete can say I'm all over the place again, which is fun. And I got to see them on the road with Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral. A lot of times, an album, I will like it, but it doesn't really click until I see the band perform their material live. And that happened with a lot of stuff in this top 15, and including the Amon Amarth, which I didn't think was a great record at all, but I saw some of the songs from it, and I said, yeah, I like it. So I think part of that was with a lot of stuff, even Iron Maiden. I didn't get into that new album, but seeing it perform live, and it kind of clicks with me. So Immolation with The Age of No Light, it's number 2. Number 1's a bit of a surprise, too. It's a black metal band from Sweden that's been around since the 90s. And it's Dark Funeral. I don't think they get a ton of love in the scene. Another album I love, and Nightfall, the opening track, which they didn't even do live on tour. When I'm Gone is like this epic black metal kind of ballad. And of course, Let the Devil In, A Beast of Praise, with Lord Araman and Halmagir, the singer who's been on the last couple of albums. It's such a strong stage presence. And that's my number 1. So I'm probably going to hell because of that. But
interesting mix of stuff on there, Steve.
Hey, I'm all across the board. I had 30, and I'm going to do an episode. We're going to bring Rock Fantasy Files back next Wednesday, and you'll get my whole shebang. And John McAtee and a few of the guys that are all back to work are going to try to hop on and do. I haven't done much with the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel lately because I'm back at work and I'm busy again. Before, I looked forward to just doing this because I was home all day.
Right.
Now it's like, oh my God, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I got to come on Pete's show. And even it's been a little tough getting on every Monday with you now. So, but it's good to be back to somewhat normalcy.
Cool. Good to see it.
Of course, you're doing your gradual countdown. So I guess you must be up to number 2 today, right?
Number 2 today. Number 1 will be revealed tomorrow. So
cool.
Yeah, I've already recorded it, so it's all ready to go. And
nice.
And then that's that. Move on to the new year.
Now you got to think up something new, right?
Yeah, we already got that in the can. So we do in January. We do albums that are 50 years old in that year. So
that'll be
month
interesting.
long. I'm going to look at my 31 favorite albums from 1973. So
that's going to be a cool one. Like I got to delve into that and look myself. I know Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is on that list.
That's correct. That is correct. Yep.
I know we used to do a lot on your channel, and we copycat a little bit and back and forth with you with doing some album battles from 73 or blah blah blah.
Yeah, so many good ones. Yeah.
The Daisy says, "Happy New Year," and trying to bite me because I hasn't got his morning walk because I'm hanging out with Pardo. And we hope to see everyone out in Middletown within driving distance for our Hudson Valley Squares. It's kind of like a meet and greet. You can get a photo with Pete Pardo. We probably won't even charge you $10.
I won't. It'll be free. Everything will be free that night, except for
no signing autographs.
Except for the food and the drink. Everything else will be free, right?
So, yeah, they're gonna have to pay for that.
So,
but
we'll have a great night with out on January 7th for British Steel, and hopefully a bunch of us folks from Sea of Tranquility, and it'll be a good night of metal and hanging out. And come on out.
And we're working on booking a bunch of shows there next year. It's like I said, it's an arcade, it's a pool hall, billiards and bowling. And on February 11th, I can announce that we have Slayer tribute, Show No Mercy from New York City, Staten Island, with local power metal kind of thrash at times, I guess, would be Reaper. And we just booked Jotunheim from New York City, which is a form of a black metal band that's going to be there February 11th. We have Into the Void on March 18th, but there's a bunch of shows I can't announce that we're just kind of penciling in together now. So awesome. It's good to be back, and thanks for having me on the channel again, Pete. It's always, and I miss the old days where we'd all, like 3 or 4 of us would gather and just do our top 10. I know it's changed a little bit with the Zoom and everybody, but those were, I can remember the early days of the channel when you were getting 50 people watching. We're like, should we really do this? And then of course, yeah, we'll do it. It's fun. And then look what it's turned into.
I know, it's crazy to think.
I remember doing the top.
That long ago.
I remember doing the top albums with you once, and looking like a week later, and we had like 71 views.
Yeah,
remember those days?
We was watching, but we had fun. We would get together in the store. We'd we'd go out for lunch and beers afterwards, and that was like our little holiday tradition. Yeah,
and it started building momentum for you.
I know, slowly but surely.
Good. So thanks for having me on, and
thanks for coming, Steve, and happy New Year to everybody, and hope to see you in a week at Quinnz Pins in Middletown, New York for British Steel and us. So come on out. It's free, and we'll have a good time. So for Steve Keeler and Pete Pardo, take care, everybody. Thanks a bunch.